Hi YouTube, it's Emma BlueEyes 10 here, and as promised this is a BlueEyes Dragons deck update. With the previous tournament and playtesting in that, I noticed the deck was running into a couple of problems, mainly some draw power. I needed some more draw power, the deck speed of the deck, and I was having trouble summoning out some monsters from the extra deck in certain situations and everything. So I've addressed those problems, and the deck's actually looking more like the December build I had when I did make it into top 8 of my local tournaments. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, as you know, BlueEyes Dragons is my main deck that I use all the time. I'm going to start off with my absolute favourite card in the entire game, BlueEyes Shining Dragon. Can only be summoned by tributing an ultimate dragon. She gains 300 attack for every dragon in the grave and is immune to targeting effects. Next we've got 3 BlueEyes White Dragon, the main signature card of Seto Kaiba, and no BlueEyes deck should be without them, I should say. Main strategy, apart from Shining Dragon, is to keep these girls out on the field as long as possible. And yes, I refer to the BlueEyes Dragon as a girl because she came from a female character in the anime. Next we've got 3 White Stones of Legend, or 3 Baby BlueEyes as I like to call them. A level 1 light type tuner. When it's sent to the graveyard, it automatically adds a BlueEyes White Dragon to hand. Light and Darkness Dragon! Light and Darkness Dragon is back in the deck. Prime material was good, but paying a card as a cost to negate destruction was costly, to say the least, excuse the pun, and I missed using Light and Darkness Dragon. Even though she's a mandatory option, if people activate things, she has to go off. She's still pretty good, and she's a good resurrection card as well. So yeah, she's back in the deck now. Next we've got 1 Alexandric Dragon, a level 4 2000 attack dragon, just as a beat stick mainly, to get over any annoying things such as Thunder King Ryo or the lower attack point, like Insectors, Windups, or whatever, anything that I can run over basically. 1 Kwakameru Draco. This is a brilliant card, anti-meta card for dragon decks or any decks that want to use anti-meta, just because it can stop the special summons of light and dark monsters. It's a 19 attack beat stick, and I think of it as a fleshed out Shining Dragon in a way, and I've always really liked the artwork for this. Next we've got 1 Vanguard of the Dragon. Discard a dragon type monster. It can gain 300 attack, and it's a stacking permanent effect. The secondary ability, however, is more interesting because when it's sent to the graveyard via an opponent card's effect, I can resurrect a normal dragon type monster from either graveyard. So with BlueEyes as the main target, this is quite a good card. Next we've got 2 Delta Flyer. This is the main monster I use to synchro and exceed with, because it can increase other monster levels by 1. I was actually considering taking 1 out for a Dread Dragon when I was thinking about adding some more speed to the deck and getting around the problem of summoning out some monsters from the extra, but I realised it's actually the monsters in the extra deck that were causing the problem, not the tuner itself, and this is far too good to not use, if you see what I mean. Next we've got 3 Masked Dragon, which is second main engine of the deck. When it's destroyed by battle, can search out a 15 attack lesser type dragon. Again, people keep saying that battle search isn't good nowadays, but I disagree in some ways, because the opponent would be more interested in what comes after, because a card after a search can be more dangerous. And next we've got 3 Totem Dragon. Because I don't use a Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, because I don't want to, this is the main way I use to tribute out the BlueEyes or Light and Darkness and everything if needed. It can resurrect itself from the graveyard if I've got no monsters and everything else in the grave is dragon. And it can count as 2 tributes for the summon of a dragon monster, so it's quite a versatile little card. Also, when I resurrect it, you'd never know what I'm going to do with it. I could exceed with it, I can synchro with it, I can tribute it, I can do loads of things with this. Whereas I feel with Red-Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, as soon as that's summoned, you automatically know what's going to happen anyway. Next we've got Polymerization, my main fusion card, mainly to fuse into BlueEyes Ultimate Dragon, but can be used for 5 God Dragon if the BlueEyes strategy fails. Future Fusion, mainly to target 5-headed dragon, but on rare occasions can be used for ultimate dragon as well. This is brilliant for sending the white stones to the grave to get their effects, or totem dragons, or any dragons I need if I need to do a quick resurrection or use their abilities to the maximum. Next is 2 Pot of Duality, just to see 3 cards in the 3 top cards of your deck and add one to your hand. Downside is you can't special summon. Staple Dark Hole to blow up monsters on the field. Staple Monster Reborn to resurrect anything I need. Staple Book of Moon to protect myself or my monsters. Staple Gold Sarcophagus to search out anything I need. Trade-in! I decided to put Trade-in in the deck. Now, I was considering Cards of Consonance and Hand Destruction as draw power, but problem with Hand Destruction is it can give the opponent great advantage as well, which isn't good, and both players need to have 2 cards, so if they've got less than that you can't activate it. Cards of Consonance would have been a good idea as well, but if the White Stones of Legend are already used up via Future Fusion, then I've got no targets left for Cards of Consonance. But with Trade-in, 9 times out of 10 I always have a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I've also got Lad to use this, but I would only discard Lad if I really needed to. With Blue Eyes I've got so many ways to resurrect her now. I'm not too bothered if I lose 1 from my hand at least. So extra draw power there, thankfully. Next we got 3 Mystical Space Typhoon. No Heavy Storm because I just want the chain ability, it's much easier, really, in all honesty. Trap cards now, we got Mirror Force to blow up monsters in the battle phase, got Solemn Judgment to counter anything. I was considering taking this out for something else, but I'm glad I didn't because it's a very good card when used correctly, but it can be deadly if you use it wrong, but it's practice makes perfect basically. Next we got, oops, silly me, 2 Torrential Tribute, obviously to get around mass swarm monsters and blow up the field, or monsters on the field if needed. I went down to 2 Compulsory Evacuation Device to make room for Trade-in, because 3 was probably a bit too much. It's still a really good card, especially now that the no priority rule has gone. It's still a really good card, and as I said, this is kind of what my deck was like in December when I made top 8. And finally we got 3 Call of the Haunted. To resurrect anything I need. I can resurrect Blue Eyes if I discard it with Trade-in. I could chain and resurrect, say, Quackeye Meru Draco if I need to stop the summon of a light dark monster. Or I can even use it on Totem Dragon, because Totem Dragon's ability when it resurrects, it gets banished after that, but reusing it with a Call of the Haunted means I get to keep the Totem Dragons in the graveyard for longer, which is quite a good idea. And also, if somebody tries to destroy Call, I could chain it and say target a White Stone of Legend, so I get a Blue Eyes White Dragon to my hand that way. It's quite a versatile little card nowadays. Extra deck now, 1 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. As I said in the previous deck update, I was only ever fusing into 1 anyway, so it's risky if this gets bottomless or solemned, or whatever. But I never could summon out 2 anyway, so just 1 will do fine. 5-headed dragon as the main target for Future Fusion, as said. I can also use Polymerization to fuse into it in case. Just a 5000 attack beat stick. 1 Iron Chain Dragon, a level 6 25 attack beat stick basically. I'm no longer running Orient Dragon because a lot of people are only running a few synchros now and lots of X-Seeds, which is a bit of a pity because I got Orient Dragon just as the X-Seeds started to really take off, so a bit of a downside there. 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon to blow up annoying field spells and to special summon from the hand if needed. 1 Black Rose Dragon to blow up the field. 1 Stardust Dragon to negate destruction. Red Dragon Archfiend. I took out Trident Dragion because it's good, but I was struggling to synchro into it. And Red Dragon Archfiend doesn't need any specific tuners. It's a level 8, so it's easier to synchro into. And it's got 3000 attack, it blows up defenseless monsters. It can blow up your own monsters if they don't attack as well, but that very rarely hinders me. Then we've got my favourite synchro in the game, Light End Dragon. You battle with this card, she loses 500 attack and defense, but your monster loses 15 attack and defense. So quite a good little sort of run over card really. For the X-Seeds now, we have 3 number 17 Leviathan Dragon, as this is the X-Seed I can mostly get into since most of my monsters are level 3. And big shout out to Stuart from my local tournament. I have finally got a Queen Dragoon Jin. She's a rank 4 X-Seed. I just need 2 level 4 monsters, and she's got 22 attack, 12 defense, and she's got a really good ability. Dragon type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle except for Queen Dragoon. Once per turn, I can detach an XYZ material from the card to target a level 5 or higher dragon type monster in the graveyard. I can special summon it, but it cannot attack that turn and its effects are negated. So, to some people this is a little bit slow, but it's really good for Blue Eyes anyway, because even though Blue Eyes can't attack that turn, it means I've got an extra way to resurrect it or any of my dragons if needed. So that's actually quite a good little card there, and I'm really glad to have it. So again, big shout out to Stuart, thank you so much for that. Then we got Thunder End Dragon, 2 level 8 normal monsters to exceed into this, so 2 Blue Eyes is perfect for this if I really need to use it. It's basically a dark hole built into this monster when you detach an XYZ material, so it's quite a deadly little card. It's got 3000 attack, 2000 defense. It's a little bit situational, but I think it's a really cool card. I really like it, and I can exceed into it, so that's why it's in there. Anyway guys, that is BlueEyes Dragons. I really do hope you enjoyed that. So we'll see you guys in whatever video decides to come next. So for me and the Blue Eyes Shining Dragon, we are signing out. Bye!